Hey peoples, Karina here, coming to you with this video. As you see, the title is below. When the merciless want mercy. Sometimes you ain't got no idea that the people coming to you have done so much shit, wanting you to help them out, wanting you to talk to them, wanting you to just be a listening ear, and you just know how bad they treated people. Sometimes you don't know how bad people treat other people. It's easy for a person to put on this facade, like they're just wholesome Olsen or whatever. I said wholesome Olsen, whatever. Damn. I really gave that bitch last name. I don't give a fuck though. Y'all already know. In a video when I told y'all, workplace enemies always fuck themselves. And I'm having a hard time with this one, because I could not wrap my head around approximately 4 days ago. When I be saying like shit shows, I mean shit shows. From the other video that I made, and I'm just referencing certain videos that I made first before I get into this one. That way, if you saw the video, you'll understand what I'm going to say. And I got my coffee right here. I don't care nothing about it being wet. It's almost 8 o'clock and it's still daylight outside. Yeah, about 5 or 10. I can't even want to see that clock. It's about like 7 minutes till 8. And it's still kind of sort of daylight outside. It was thunderstorming earlier. So the cloud is kind of moving out the way. But anyway, and I'm not editing that burp out. Like I said, these videos that I'm about to reference will give you a little bit of insight to what I'm about to tell you right now. So I was making mention of a coworker that decided to listen to her little friend. This girl I'm putting it like this. This girl been trying to off me, get after me, doing all kind of shit. Some people just get in murder mode when they can't get their way. Like if you ask them, say they ask you, can I borrow a pen? You be like, no, you're gonna die. You should have gave me that pen. I'm talking about like little silly shit like that, like dumb shit like that. So when she gave her friend that makeup to give to me, which I ain't used, did a reversal with the damn makeup. No candle needed. Whatever. It's just when you just sit there and you just get your mentals right, some shit you can just do without a fucking candle. Sometimes you gonna need to just do whatever you gotta do. But at the same time, the fact of the matter is this: if you give somebody something with the wrong intent and you think they're stupid and they don't know, and something happened to where the intent that you put on said thing comes back to your ass, you should know better. So anyway, that girl is not there. She ended up she legit didn't come back. She was scared too. She was scared too. She legit rested, got her little shits back okay, and was like, nah, I can't go back there. I can't, da-da-da-da-da. Just like, I don't know. I just feel like it's a lot of weird shit going on. Yeah, it's called y'all getting your shit that y'all put out to other people. Whatever. It's like y'all have tried countless times. Like, make it make sense. I've been working in that place almost 3 years. And with you that close to me, that close around me all the time, and you still couldn't get me. See, I remember the time that you tried to poison my drink, and I just walked over there to it and picked it up, took the top off, threw it in the garbage while making eye contact with the little one. Okay, so you mean after all those attempts that y'all tried calling me weird and saying I'm a devil worshiper because I'm in spirituality, but I got protection on my motherfucking ass like a motherfucker. And I got a relationship with God because he first. That don't mean I don't acknowledge other gods and deities. Yes, the hell I do. Yes, the heck I do. God made them all. The universe, the creator of the universe, made them all. Okay? So, yeah. But it's so funny you would say that shit when you were like trying to get into stuff and then you got mad because I wouldn't try to teach you how to protect yourself. Ain't you been listening to times that I would talk to you? I already told you how to cleanse yourself of certain energies, but what you do, you want to walk around and do whatever the fuck you do. But that's just giving a little rundown. The last straw did not happen to me. She hated the fact that upper management actually cut for me favor. So I heard her making a comment a couple weeks ago to somebody else. Well, I'm still a little sore about so and so. I almost said the manager name. I'm still a little sore about him firing me and telling me that I wasn't a manager. Like, he legit, like when I told y'all he let her go and then she was able to get hired back somehow, but under the guise of, you're not a manager, you're not going to walk around here telling people what to do, you're not going to this, you're not going to that. And I'm going to get a little bit more into that either toward the, after I say what I'm going to say, or probably in another video. So when she was all like, oh, well, me and him had words, we're not on good terms. She was talking to somebody. Like, I was just within earshot. So I was like, menus or whatever the hell. But I was in earshot and I was listening to this shit. A week later, before I say what I'm about to say, if you're dealing with any health issues or you got weak points in you somewhere, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, if it's not something God has actually helped you with, healed you from, or dealt with you about, don't share that with nobody. Because if somebody want to get you, all they got to do is go for that weak part. Like, if a person knows that you've had, I don't know, I'm not even trying to throw ideas out there. I'm just going to say some type of issue that you dealt with, even if you hadn't dealt with it in a long time, but it, whatever. That's all I'm going to say like that. So a week after that, the manager starts getting sick. The owner, actually, I'm not even going to say manager, the owner, he starts getting real sick and he's walking around there and he's like on edge and this and that. And while he's on edge, it's like she's not coming to work, not doing whatever, It's like he comes to me one day, he's like, Karina, just want to be like, I appreciate you coming to work and calling if you're going to be late and this and that, because right now, he said, oh, I'm so stressed out, such and such. Like, I think it was 2 weeks, because some stuff that was going on 2 weeks prior to that, like before the chick that gave me the makeup left or whatever and scared to come back and actually found a job somewhere else at a brewery. Okay, like, she can't really work around people because her attitude is that fucking sour. Okay, so before all that, he was like, and I don't even know why he hired this other chick back, because her and her boyfriend actually decided they wanted to go on a little vacay. No call, no show. And then I had the job calling me like frantic, like, well, both of them didn't show up. Can you come in? So it's just a manager, me, and one more other employee in that restaurant. Got full in the motherfucker, and we had people waiting at the door. We was all three running around that bitch, crying, cussing, fussing. But we made it through the night. It was so motherfucking busy. So freaking busy. Okay? Like, the manager was stressed out about not having people to come there. Like, he didn't know if he was going to have employees from one day to the next with the people that he let stay there, but that was all due to manipulation. Okay, like, if an employer was in their right mind, and I'm not even going to say in their right mind, I'm just going to say if they have boundaries and they make rules, because my job ain't never had no set rules. It was just people did whatever the hell they wanted to do. But if you got morals, you just gonna do what's right. He was like, oh, I appreciate you calling, and if you gonna be late, I'll say, yeah, but you know, I'm probably no more than 3 or 4 minutes late, whatever. And then that's just me outside, like, smoking a cigarette or drinking some juice, tea, coffee, whatever the hell. So he was like, yeah, at least I know I can count on you to come here. He said, but this is all getting to me a lot. Then he started getting physically sick. Then he goes and says to me, like, I think it was a Tuesday the last time I had saw him. He says, well, I'm going to need to take some time off because I'm really not feeling great and this and that. He was almost like stumbling, and I was looking at him like, dang, you don't look good at all, like, what's wrong? And he was like, well, he was having some trouble with his heart and his stomach and all kinds of shit like that, like real fucked up, like. So he basically left. Like, his best friend came, like, which his best friend had worked with him in other businesses that he's had and owned, and he actually gave those up due to it was just like a lot of hassle for him to have multiple restaurants and not a lot of people to help him with it. They had multiples of the one that I work at now. They only have one of those, and they had something else somewhere else, but it's under somebody else own it now, because I guess they gave it to him, sold it to him, I don't know. But the whole point of the matter is this. His best friend came the next day, and I just look, and I'm like, where's so-and-so? He was like, well, that day before, like when he left out of here, shortly after that, he had a heart attack. And he's not like that old. He's probably like around, he just turned 64 on Father's Day. I remember that because he was walking around like, yeah, well, Father's Day is my birthday, y'all. And we were like, it's the old man, it's the grandpa. We used to mess with him. So he was sick. His best friend was like, well, I didn't want to tell nobody, but the management know, but I'm just telling you, keep it low key. And I'm like, why is he telling me? And so I had to think about it, and it was like, he want me to keep him like uplifted. So I'm like, okay, because I know how my manager is. He's like, I know how he is. But anyway, he's a good manager. He's never capped my salary. He knew all the shit that was going on at the old place that I worked at. They let you be you, have your personality, and just put it like this. This man ain't never did anything fucked off towards me so far as nothing. He was cool. But I did say he was too nice, and he kept letting people run over him and shit, and then he get real stressed about it. And I was like, okay, the manager we had before he just took over, it was like, this man was extra hella mean, horrible. But anyway, so his best friend comes and's like, he had a heart attack, so he went to the hospital, okay? Then right before he was supposed to get his surgery, he had another heart attack. And they had to do a triple bypass. And what is it? A triple bypass. I think he had 2 heart attacks, and he had to get a triple bypass. Then he was going to have a heart attack again after the surgery. And they put him on a breathing machine. He couldn't do anything for himself. He was having trouble breathing. He was like It was severe. So me knowing, the management know what they know, and I know what I'm knowing. I'm like, I decides to just come home and do what I do. Do what I do. Then I hear from his best friend when he comes to work the next day. He's like, oh, well, the doctors don't know what's going on. Like, he was on a breathing machine last night, and then this morning, because I'm staying, like, close around with the family and the wife and the kids, the adult kids and whatnot like that. Wait, the daughter, the wife, and then I think somebody else, one of their other friends and their kids or whatever. He's just, like, around the family. And he was like, doctors don't even know what happened. Like, he was damn near looking like death. And all of a sudden, he started just breathing better on his own. They took him off the machine. He actually wanted to stand up out the bed and walk around the hospital a little bit. They was like, well, as bad as he was doing that night before, that next morning, it was damn near like nothing wasn't happening. And I said all that to say this. Tell me why. Oh, because you know what I did. Don't even sit there and think you don't know what I did. But anyway, I did what I did. On top of hit a reversal on wherever the fuck it came from. So I go back to work. And I knew, but I was just like, I didn't put no names. I knew what the hell happened. I knew. I was like, wait a minute. She's still, because she made mention before all this happened, that she was still sore about him firing her, like taking away her power. She ain't got no power. But I'm going to get into what she think, because the rest of this story going to be good. But I'm just setting up. It's not, it ain't trying to make a good story, but I'm telling you, this is absolutely what the fuck happened. So she comes to work the next day. And it's been like almost a week now. No, it's probably, been about a week. Yeah, a week or a week and a day or something like that. She comes to work complaining about chest pains. Saying she can't breathe. Saying her stomach hurts. Doing all kind of shit, like after her, she didn't call one day and just showed up a whole ass hour late. But that was her excuse when she got there, that she was having trouble breathing and her chest was hurting and her stomach was hurting. Mind you, she's only 21. Playing with fucking magic. She wanted to get me out of there, but she was pissed at the manager because he took my side and told her, you're not a manager. You're not going to run around here and just tell people what to do and this and that or whatever. It's like some people be getting it twisted. But I'm going to finish that part of the story in a little bit. So 4 days ago, she sends me a text. Like, I hear ding, and I'm thinking, okay, it's one of my acquaintances that I be talking to. No. At 12 o'clock at night, because don't nobody text me like 12 o'clock at night. I just hear ding. And how she got my number was at work, they have like on the schedule, it has the employees' names and they have their number in case if somebody needs somebody to take over for somebody else, they could just pick up the phone and call them on their own, or the manager can just reach anybody can reach anybody pretty much. If they need somebody to work for them, that's just basically so you can get your shift covered. And I wish I could pull down the screen while recording to read the fucking text message. But I'm going to give it to you in a nutshell. She was like, hi, Karina, this is... And she tells me right off the bat who she was. And I'm like, okay. She said, having a little problem that something happened, life-changing. It was big, something not work-related, obviously. But her mental state was what she was most afraid for. And she feels like I'd be the only person that she can talk to about it, and asking me about what kind of crystal can she get to. Oh, wait, I thought you said crystals was evil, but you walking around with them on too. Why? Because I know how to use a crystal, what crystal do what, how to program it, how to cleanse it. And crystals come from the earth. God made crystals, okay? That's his shit. That's his creations, okay? And there's herbs and everything else like that put in the earth for us, to help us. You know what I mean? Like, but if you don't know how to use it, it's like, of course, something you don't know, you're going to consider it to be evil. But she was like, so can I get a piece of moldavite? You think that's going to help me? Da-da-da-da. And I'm like, looking at this message. And I'm like, I ain't really respond right away. But she kept typing. And then she was like, she's scared. And I've never had an enemy tell me that they were scared before. She was like, before she went to say all that, she was like, I know I've been a bitch to you, and our personalities don't gel. What you mean? You know you've been, man, where the hell is little fruit fly come from? Anyway, that's bullshit. Oh, never mind. I had some, I took out some, what is it? Banana stuff like earlier, and then one was just probably still lingering around in here or whatever, because shit, that's why I don't like to buy too many fruits and shit. Because nah, if I don't eat it, I'll be like, I want it, and then I don't eat it. But anyway, let's get back to this here. So she tells me the way that she says she knows that the energy she projects to other people is off. She's like, she's scared for, basically, I could read between the lines, she was basically scared for her life. And she felt like nowhere else to turn to. I'm like, wait a minute. You mean all the times y'all sat there and was like, I got Jesus. Call him. Tell him. Anyway, it's Yahweh, not Jesus. But anyway, I just despise the fact people just want to be changing folks' names and talking about changing names. At one point she was basically, I'm finished with the text message, but this got me heated. At one point, she was trying to change my name, telling me, when I first got there, she was calling me Karina. I was like, no, my name is Karina. And she was like, well, you told me your name was Karina. I said, I never told you that. My name is Karina. She said, no, it's Karina. I'm like, I've been called this name for 40 years almost. Now that I'm 40, I mean, I've still been called Karina. I've never been called Karina. And people try to call me Katrina, and there's no T in my name. Boy, I'm getting so heated. I'm not going to spill this coffee, and I just cleaned this motherfucking flow too. Hell to the no. So she was the type that'll find anything to be petty about. So it was basically, she tried to make me feel like Kunta Kinte when the slave master was beating him, trying to tell him his name was Toby. No. Pat, like, and he didn't say Toby to the end. Shit, I ain't say Karina. Never. It's Karina. Okay? And then, even with that, I noticed she would try to do other little stuff. She never wanted to call my name. For whatever. Probably because the little demon in her know what my name means. Yeah. My name actually means beloved or pure. Yeah, the way that it's spelled, okay? Y'all know how to spell my name. Karena. Google it. Google it. Some people walking around here with names that mean something good. And certain people want to say certain shit about you and refuse to call your name. And it took me a hot minute to be like, wait a minute. something in her spirit perturbed her. Or if she did ever say my name, it was real quick and like in disgust. But yeah, sometimes certain shit can be merely happening to you just by the what your name mean. That can be a factor too, okay? Because you never know. Some of these people got these crazy ass names and shit, be invoking a damn demon and shit when you calling their name. Nah, you ain't invoking nothing fucked up when you say my name. You just calling me beloved or pure. And I know I'm a little ways off from pure, but I've been working on that, okay? Pure of heart. And I've been holding the nana for my twin. I ain't gave it to nobody. I ain't been out here just putting on the red light. You know what I'm saying? I ain't been rock sanding it up. Like, let me shut up. But yeah, so my name means beloved. No way, there's one of my little hairs floating around. But anyway. To get back to the story. She tries to make people do what she wants them to do. And if they don't do what she wants them to do, hell, this time she've hit people close to her that she considered friends. But because she's been working around me that long and you could not get at me, like try to poison me, that was an epic fail. She tried to get me fired, that was an epic fail. So she got the whole bunch of people that, you know, she got people that'll be like, you know, they'll be like, I think you're really cool, but, you know, I really want friends. So, you know, just don't take it personal if I don't talk to you when they're around. So some people was literally bowing to her just to have a friend. But they used to want to come to me for advice on shit and be like, how do you smile? You don't go through shit? Child, bitch, how much time you got? Yes, I do. If you say you don't ever go through shit, you're lying like a motherfucker. Okay? And the truth ain't in you. So, back to the damn message. She says, well, I know I've been like this and that, and some just told me fake. And God was like, don't you help her. Don't you help her. Don't you help her. All the shit she done to you, tell her that what she's dealing with is because of how she treated you and made you feel. God told me legit to tell her that. I'm thinking, tell my enemy that what she's feeling now and the scaredness and the panic is what you made me feel? Yeah, at one point, yeah. Because it was like, I had to sit and think everything I've ever worked for, skill set, mindset, building up my confidence when I never used to be assertive. Like my strength came out of the trials that I overcame. And it's like you just wanted to take that from me. Like you wanted to put me down to the nothing and be like, nobody gets the paycheck or anything but through me. She basically was like, if you don't kiss her ass, she'll try and get you fired. Because I'm a manager. No, you're not. Anybody knows that when you go somewhere and it's a new person coming in and you train them as a trainer, that does not make you a manager. I'm low-key training the new manager right now, and I'm not even a manager. But why? Because I know where everything is on there from watching other managers do it. I just don't have a manager code. So does that make me a manager? No, that just means if you know something, show something. That's all that means. He's still my manager. He's still the one that I have to take orders from. But if he come to me and he asks me where something is or how to do something and I know how to do it, I'm going to show him. Okay? I've worked in places to where I had to train people that was older than me. But once they got down packed about the job, I still learn things from them too because they've been in the industry longer than me. So they taught me how to up customer service. They taught me not to write thank you on a check because it it's already printed on the check. And the best way to, it's like, you don't ignore your customers and then write thank you and smiley faces on the check later on as if that's going to somehow secure uh, a tip to you. No, your personality. She used to complain on me, ran to the manager. She's calling people by their names. She's talking to people like she just knows them. That's unprofessional. First of all, you think because you trained me how to do something in there and I got it down pack and I use the skill set that I've from everywhere, it's essentially the same thing. All you got to do when you go work different places is learn how learn the menus, learn the food, learn their procedure, whatever. And the manager ain't had shit to say to her. So the next day he comes out. But I'm going to get back into the end of this bullshit in a minute, because I got so much about that. But she trips out and her eyes got real big when he walks out of there and says, when customers come in or whatever, he's like, hi, welcome in, have a seat, make yourself at home. That's the same shit I do. Or I call them by their name. Same way I be talking on videos is the same way I talk to my customers, unless I never saw you before. You get one time for me to professionalize with your ass. After that, we on a personal level. Because I was taught by people older than me that been doing stuff for the longest that, customers like to be called by their name. Customers like when you remember what they like. Customers like certain things, and I know what I like. When I go somewhere, I'm the extra cheese and extra sauce queen, okay? And I know it costs extra because a lot of people are like, that's extra. I know. What's the biggest size of the side of that you got? I want it. Dang it, this little freaking neck gonna drive me crazy. Still gonna make this video. Might handle up on that motherfucker afterwards. Because everything is fucking clean. I just gotta put away clean clothes. But I washed earlier. I'm not a big clothes putter. I don't put clothes away like right after I do whatever. Because I hate doing that shit. But anyway. So this girl has been so going ballistic and ape shit crazy for all this many years or whatnot like that, and kept going under the radar because she looks like she's innocent, sweet, whatever, but she's fucking not. So here's what happens. After she left that message, and I told her, well, God told me not to help you or talk to you about whatever you're feeling. That same feeling of, because you don't never tell people your personal private feelings, but I felt like, if God tell me to tell it to her. So I was like, yeah, and that's the only way, because you got to know that you heard God tell you to do that. So I just told her, I say, I can't help you. I say everything that, I understand you saying apologies, this and that, but everything you've ever done to me, acted or whatever, and it wasn't even her. It was an ancient ass demon that she carried. Took some time to find that shit out. A real old demon. One of the hardest demons I ever had come at me. And now this bitch is scared. She's terrified. Because the closer you get to God and the more you work on yourself and the more you heal certain issues within yourself, less shit triggers you. And you can take your thoughts captive easier. So she is a compilation of everything that I had actually overcame, trying to roll itself into one big ass ball to try to come back and want to just destroy. Like, no, not gonna happen. But that demon in that bitch is still trying to work overtime. Like, when I was telling her how she treated me and everything like that, I say, I don't hate you. I just refuse to help you or talk to you about any of that. Because what you're feeling now is like all the stress and everything like that. That's the same way you stress me out. But the other things you're dealing with, That's all through the things that you have done. She goes, I've never put spell work on you. You're lying. You're lying. So why would you have to say that? You mean the times that you tried to do spell work on my head to try and make me lose my hair, but you're walking around still shedding hair and you're still bald in spot, bitch. I got some extra edges that I don't know where these bitches came from. So it's gonna be all the way out here directly. Nah, I don't know. But she know what the fuck she done and she know exactly everything she tried to do. And it failed horribly. So she takes back, but it wasn't even like that though. Wait a minute. Wasn't even like that though. And I knew that was the demon talking through her. It was like she was trying to fight and cut through it. And I'm like, nah, the answer's still the same. I don't want to have this conversation no more. Let's just go to work tomorrow like nothing happened. The conversation never happened. She's a few minutes late. But I had to tell one of the managers, I say, you might want to call her. See if she's coming to work. If she's not coming to work, and which I'm not telling you because I give a fuck if she come or not. I just want to know if we can get somebody else up in here. If she ain't here in 20 minutes, you're going to have to call somebody to come. And that's all that I'm going to say. So she called a girl to see if she was actually going to show up to work because the bitch had a notion, like, not a notion. She had this thing where whenever she was going through something, she felt that she could just walk up in there an hour late, an hour and a half late, and got pissed off because the boss's best friend sent her home and was like, no, we don't need you. Like, we got this. Bye. You didn't call. You just going to show up in the middle of busy and think, nah, go. And that's something that the owner never told her. And he had a meeting with the other managers like this jolt. I almost said his whole name. Anyway, does he have any thing implemented here? Like any rules set up for people to do, any protocol on like coming to work on time, doing whatever? Because it seems like people just do what they want and they just feel like it's okay. So they working on setting up some, working on trying to get some more folks up in there and whatever like that. Don't even know, like, look, but I'm gonna tell you all a little more about that, and I'm smiling because I have more to tell about that. But so she tells me, like when she gets in the manager, she say, okay, good looking out, because yeah, I'm gonna be pissed off if we don't have enough people and we get busy. I say, yeah, I know you will, and you're gonna walk around here screaming, and so that me and you don't have to go through this shit later. I'm just telling you now. You might be short an employee today if she ain't here in 20 minutes. So that was just basically to cover our asses, because this bitch just don't follow orders. She feels she is the owner, the proprietor, she thinks this is LLC, so-and-so LLC. I'm like, what the fuck ever. This is not your shit. Okay? And the position that you had when I first got here, they slowly moved you out that bitch because you wasn't doing your job. You was working the same shift I was, because that's the in-between time where you got to do 2 jobs and you get paid a little more. But you so busy looking at me, you couldn't even see that. But because you weren't dependable in doing your shit. But it wasn't about that. It was never about the restaurant at all. Let me tell y'all what that was about in a hot minute. Because I'm not going to make this video an hour. At least I hope I'm not going to make it an hour. But I ain't talk to y'all in a minute. But I'm pretty sure y'all going to watch it all the way to the end. Even if you got to pause and come back and finish watching it. So she comes to work. And I said, good morning. She's like, good morning. walking around there holding her chest, feeling some type of way. And sucking on her vape. She was walking around like this. And then every time she saw me like pass by, she looked like, and I would have gave anything at that moment to see what she could see. Because I felt like she was able to see shit in the spiritual realm at that moment. Like, she looked around me. Like, how y'all see me now, she was like that. And I'm just looking at her, I'm like, are you okay? Soft voice. I know she saw my protection. I know she saw angels with me. She also looked like she saw a ghost. She looked panicky inside, and she was trying to shake it off, like, still looking like that. And then she's just following me around for the whole day. Do you need anything? Do you need anything? Do you need anything? Do you need me to do anything? And then so I'm like, no, I'm fine. So she just picks up pictures and she walks around and she starts filling up all my table strings, pre-bussing my shit for me. If I'm busy, grabbing drinks for my table, just everything. She was quiet for that rest of that day. Now if she attempt to do anything, because she's already, I'm not gonna help you do shit. But now you running up under my ass the same way your best friend did before she got real afraid to come back. Like, I'm seeing a pattern. And this shit been a long time coming, okay? Like I said before in a past video, if you do something to make somebody go away and they don't go away, it's a reason that they still there. Either they got to learn a lesson from you, or you got to learn a lesson from them. But I do remember telling her before, I was like, I don't want to talk about this. You just need to be careful how you treat people. Because that stuff do come back. It do come back. It really do come back. But she was all up my ass, whatever. You need this, you need that, whatever, bye. And then she was just, you get around other people and be like, oh, I feel so great. I feel so. Now, bitch, I had to flip my shit around real quick. So you could not suck my energy. And this bitch did not even try to. She didn't even try to get up under my skin. She ain't even try to take whatever. Because I just felt like I had this bubble around me, this blockade around me, to where she could not penetrate that shit. She could not understand. If she saw something in the spirit, sitting up there like that. And I'm just. So the manager got better. She, on the other hand, ain't okay. And she admitted she knows she wasn't going to be okay in text messages. So if she tried to do anything else fucking stupid, I got those text messages that said where you admitted that you know you've been a bitch to me. You know your energy has been off towards me. And I didn't even read everything else until I went back to read all the shit that she kept typing. She'd be like, I felt like you looked at me like a little child and this and that, that you just needed the mother. And I'm like, first of all, because one time she said, there's other people at my job that work there that are younger than her and the same age as her. And they be like, she tried to call herself, trying to badmouth me for different shit and be like, oh, well, I feel like she looks down on me because I'm young. And they were like, that's totally not true, because she treats me like a person. You don't treat her like a person, so obviously she's not going to respect you. One of the coworkers told her that. It was like, she don't talk to people like they're young and stupid. She treats you how you treat her. And somebody young told her this shit. And then on top of that, they had hired her brother for temp help, which is younger than her, like by a year, more mature. And he don't have this annoying high ass fucking voice. He looked like a tiny little, could probably be in a boy band look. Little young dude with a deep voice. Really respectful. Nice with everybody. And he made a joke one time in front of everybody. He's like, oh man, my sister's so lazy. She's like, I pay you to do the dishes. I pay you this. I pay you that. Like, you lazy, bro. Lazy, bro. You're older than me and you're supposed to be setting a good example for me. I know he was playing, but that shit rang true. And she looked annoyed because she was thinking, oh my God, you just said that in earshot of one of my worst enemies. It's not that I was her worst enemy by wanting to do that. But see, here's the whole thing. I had to ask God why did I deal with all of that? Why did I go through that? Why was this bitch the hardest to like shake? And now she's shooken. Because I've been able to deal with other shit before, but that one was just a bit much. So God basically was like, well, you started waitressing because you wanted to get, I'm trying to remember how I should have wrote it down. Okay, I should have been, it's like this. I started waitressing because using it at first as a coping mechanism from being treated poorly. So I felt like if I treat everybody nice, somebody will say a kind word to me at least once. You know what I'm saying? It actually helped me cope with certain issues. It just helped me cope. It was like, okay, growing up your whole life, if you was always told really fucked up shit about you ain't gonna have nothing, be nothing, blah, 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 and the shit was a total lie, you know what I'm saying? Total lie. Because I ain't never been in the best mental headspace in a long time. In a long time, you know? It's like over the years as stuff progressed, and then I quickly learned that, hey, everybody's not going to treat you the way you treat them. I started doing it for that reason when I was 17, but why I stayed is because stuff changed. I worked other jobs, but I didn't really like it too much, and it was like God kept allowing me to go into that because a couple of customers actually came to me before and was like, they were having the hardest time in life. And then they opened up and shared some things they were going through, and they were like, but the fact that you were really, really, really nice to me throughout all of this, it just made me feel like I mattered. She said she was going through a divorce, couldn't afford an accountant. Everything was just feeling some type of way. And I was like, well, I know what it's like to go through divorce, but I don't know what it's like to have an accountant yet. But look at what you do have. You got friends that love you? She say, yeah. I said, you got kids that love you? She say, yeah. It was like, do you feel like you deserve better? She say, yeah. It's like, she goes, well, I pray all the time, and it's just like when life changed and it was so uncomfortable and this and that. And I was like, change is uncomfortable sometimes, good or bad. Yeah, because when you get used to a certain way of things happening, and you all of a sudden you go from pinching pennies to be able to go buy what you want when you want it. Or just if you want to order food in, just little stuff like that, and you're not having to scrounge change up to go to the store to get a soda. I've been that broke before. I have. And it's like, once stuff not like that, it takes some time to get used to. But that wasn't due to anything of my doing. my own dad basically had put certain spirits on me from when I was a little girl that the church could never get off. They never could see it. It would always be hiding from people that claimed to see. But yet it took spiritual people to help you to get out of that. Like people to teach you how to do shadow work, face your past things that hurt you. And so basically, he put so much hate and everything like that to make people treat me some type of way. And even some things that my mom had ended up telling me that he said over me as a child that I was not old enough to remember. That basically he, in so many words, he basically cursed my life when he found out that she was having a girl because he wanted a boy. So he spoke that shit over me. My mama got pregnant, had another girl, and had another girl. And the reason for that was because God wanted to break that cycle of abusive men. He did not want to keep it continuing. And women in my family had always stayed with men that abused them or whatever. I'm the first to just get the fuck out this shit. But he had put he put so much shit to where no man would love me, like me, notice me. They only looked at me as a piece of ass and whatever like that. But you know what? That shit changed. That shit changed. I fought through that too. But then there was lingering things that needed to be removed, okay? And the church could not do it. And that's what made me be like, well, how come I sat in church every Sunday and these people walking in there bouncing around in robes could not remove this? They could never see this. They never saw it. But you know what? And I don't know if I told y'all the story, but I'm pretty sure I did. That I almost died 2 years before I met my twin flame. Why? Because I met my twin in 2005. I almost died in 2003. It was pretty horrible. But that's because those spirits were like, no, I don't. They were saying that they didn't want me to know what love felt like or feel it for anybody else. And that they was gonna take me out before I ever got a chance to know and feel. And it was too late. After I met my twin, like I was so hell-bent on staying in the house, I stayed in the house. And when God got ready for me to be where I was supposed to be, he directed me to go where I'm supposed to go. I didn't want to go to the store. It was January 2nd, 2005. It was like 3 and in the middle of, I think it was somewhere around 3:30-ish when I actually laid eyes on him. Okay, I did not want to go to that store. I wanted to go somewhere else, and then God was like, go to Fiesta, down the street from where I lived. He said, go to Fiesta now. And I was like, man, and I'm complaining all the way, put my shoes on, because I woke up out of a sleep where I wanted to lay there, go to Fiesta. And as soon as I got up there, right before they had the parking lot thing where the cars drive in or whatever like that, he was standing right there. I was walking on the other side across the street. There was nobody out there but me and him. And I looked in front of me and he was staring at me. But he was on his phone talking to his grandma. And I just walked up to him or whatever. He was like, Grandma, man, I'm finna call you back. He was like, the most beautiful woman just walked up to me and da 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 da. Like, I'm gonna talk to her. I'm gonna call you back later. We ended up spending the rest of that whole day together watching Dave Chappelle and blowing a blunt. That was the first date, no bullshit. And we talked so much when we was walking around in the store because I was like, I'm just trying to go to the store, thinking to myself, but something in me was like, I wanted to just, I had plans to just go in the store, whatever, but something in me was like, talk to him. Don't say nothing stupid. Talk to him. So he just was like, after he hung the phone with his grandma, I swear he didn't with the, hey, what's up, shout. He didn't do none of shit. He was like, hi, my name is, and he told me his name. I told him mine. I looked at him up and down. I was like, he cute. I still remember what he was wearing. Then he had he had hair longer than mine to his shoulders. He had it parted in the middle. And he had 2 ponytails, like, babe legit had a perm. I'm not gonna lie. That hair was straighter than mine. Not gonna lie. Dark skin, slanted eyes, pretty lips, pretty nose, really deep voice. Like, he had a slight accent, too. You could barely hear it unless you just listening for it, but if you really listen to it, you can hear it. But his mama got it real thick, like real thick. Like, she sound like Miss Cleo reading tarot cards. I swear to God, that's her real voice. I promise to God, I don't swear to God, I promise. But he got a little bit of the accent, but it's not, I'm gonna have to watch this thing. But, yeah, so I remember all that about him. So that shit, at them spirits that my daddy like sat there and was like, oh, this and that or whatever. I'm telling you, the love between me and that one was so strong. And now that those spirits have departed, how much more stronger is that connection gonna be, like face to face? Because I can already feel more. And already, you ever had dreams about your life, and then you wake up and you realize you still in your now, and you like, really? Some bestie was here. I had to call her and tell her about that dream. I was like, I was at such and such and such and such and such and such, and I told her what it looked like, and she's like, oh yeah. She's like, it looks like this and this and this in the other rooms, and then such and such and such, because I didn't even finish the dream, but she told me the rest of it. She's like, yeah. She say, you disappointed as shit that you woke up in your apartment, huh, and you're not over there right now. Like, and she was like, nah, don't do that, just But anyway, I know this video been long as a motherfucker, but if you stayed and you watched it, because I couldn't just not, whenever I talk about certain things, it's like I automatically have to shift the energy into something positive right after. That way you have something lingering with you that will just make you feel good, you know? Like, look, this video is supposed to be about one thing, but it just turns something else. But hey, it's unscripted. It's a real life scenario. The shiznit actually happened. So the next video is going to be on a little bit funnier note. I'm not trying to make it funny, but I'm going to deal with this motherfucking nap, and then I'm going to come back with the next video. Talk to y'all in a minute. Bye.